Lakers then. What's up, Facebookies, TikTokies? What's up,
What's
y'all?
up?
Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter X fingers. Whatever you want to call it. What's up, y'all? It's the Hootie Who's finest talk show in this thing. We got Adrian in the house coming straight from California. Yay!
California.
Come on through
Man.
here.
LA. Well, how they do it? LA.
I'm from LA, but I'm coming from KC.
All right. All right. That's what's up.
All right, we got my girl Megan in the chat. I gotta give a shout out to my chat liners. What's up, Megan? Thank you for joining the show. Hootie Who's finest talk show. All right, y'all. Whew, it's been a long 2 weeks, Adrian.
Yeah. 2
You
weeks.
doing
Yeah.
traveling? I could tell you in a nice hotel room and all of that. Okay.
Yeah. I had to come down here and see the family. 4th of July. Took my nephew on a drive test this morning. Get his license. He passed. So that alone made the trip worthwhile. But to be able to kick it with the family and everything too, icing on top.
I know that's right. And it's
Mhm.
holiday, it ain't the holiday weekend, but it's the holiday.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you got a chance to kick it with the family, go down there. And, I know your nephew was excited about getting those license. That's
Yeah.
exciting. I remember when Malik got his license for the first time. It was like you couldn't tell that kid anything.
Yeah. Because that right there, them little accomplishments to just let them know that they're capable of doing whatever they put their mind to it. The biggest part is just making up your mind to do it.
That is so true. That is so true. And I know that was something big on your bucket list when you got out of prison, was to help the kids and the youth, especially those in your family, to get their driver's license, to get their whatever they need, birth certificate, social, whatever, help them to
Yeah.
get established in that way, to put them on the right road, to getting a career soon, or starting their own business, or just establish.
Yeah. So just anything that we do. So me, I didn't get my identification card until I was 47 years old, right?
Wow.
And it's like without an ID card in this country, in America, in the world, but particularly here, you can't get a job, you can't go to school, you can't own a business. You're a nomad in your own country, and
Right.
you're like an alien or something because you don't have identification. And
Right.
so for our youth coming up in the communities we come from, is like they're already losing the game before it even starts. Because they don't have these identifying markers to get to the next step in their lives. And that was one of the things that hindered me back then, back in the days.
Right. I
So,
remember.
yeah.
And it's a whole story about that, which ultimately led you into doing 27 years in prison. But we'll get into that another
We
time.
will get into it. We will get into it. That's
Today,
part of the
we are
show.
going to give our followers what they've been asking me for. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all of our followers on TikTok. Y'all pull up, y'all come through, and I'm excited to give y'all this content. We got some good content, Adrian. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
going to get to the Dear Tree and Adrian letters a little later after the Young Thug content.
Okay. My
All right.
favorite. My favorite.
Right. I know that is your
Mhm.
favorite, your favorite.
Yeah.
Adrian, this Young Thug stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
It's like a soap opera or something, or like no, it's not even soap operas no more. It's like the Hollywood, the Housewives of Atlanta or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on, man? What all the drama? It's like, these are professional people and they can't get their shit right. You know what I'm saying?
And it's totally embarrassing.
Yeah. And people are paying their taxes. They paying this judge. They paying the prosecution, and they're just dragging this thing out and just making so many, um, you know,
unnecessary
errors.
mistakes. Yes,
Yeah, just
unnecessary. Like,
yeah. Because even if Young Thug is convicted at where it stands now, he has so many issues to bring on appeal that they're not even going to, he's, yeah, so this is, the cases can go on for 20, 30 years because of all the mistakes and errors that has occurred in this case. So, I just feel for, everybody involved, the victims, the defendants, the community, the state, the city, because it's just taking resources that could be used to, in gang prevention or summer
exactly.
jobs or anything.
I just think it's a waste of time. If they didn't done this, I don't even understand why. It's got to be political somewhere. Like, because their judges out there get voted in. This has been a complete waste of time. Now the trial is temporarily on.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's
How you gonna put a trial on hold and miss trial? I've never
and
heard of this stuff
yeah,
before. Like
yeah.
in the middle of the trial. So what is the jury supposed to do? How they supposed to remember all this crap y'all done put on?
Yeah.
All the objections, all the strike this, they supposed to remember all this stuff and give
No,
these
they're not.
fair
They're
trial.
not. Yeah.
There's no way possible.
It's it it's a huge waste of time because before the district attorney should have brought the case, they should have he or she should have investigated, got whatever evidence, and made sure that okay, we're going to bring this person, charge this person, bring them to trial, that we have enough information, evidence to say get a conviction or something, because at this point it's a farce. It's a farce, and they're
Well,
making a mockery of the justice system.
they have
If
made
it's
a
all it isn't already that.
yeah, it's a dang on shame. So I want to get into this ex parte really fast with you. The judge did this whole came into court the last time they was in court. You could just tell, I could tell since these recusal motions was filed, he had got more humble. Shout out in the chat. What's up, cousin? He had got more humble. And
Yeah,
so yeah, so he came into court and he announced that he's dropping the contempt and the show
yeah,
calls for the attorney Bumpus, who he thought was the mole. She didn't show up, but she had like 5 or 6 attorneys show up on her behalf. He dropped the show calls. They don't need
yeah,
the hearing and all of this. And so he said that it'll be on temporary court to be temporary held until after the recusal hearing. He's gonna go ahead and turn it over. Because at first he wasn't even gonna turn it over for the recusal, for a
yeah.
recusal. So he's gonna go ahead and turn it over for a recusal hearing. Why do you think he's gonna go ahead and turn it over now, Adrian?
Well, it was actually something you said about it last time, and it's really the Supreme Court. It has gotten so complicated with that I believe somebody reached out to him. Someone who has influence and told him like, look, man, you kind of biting off a little bit more than you can chew at this time.
Right.
And like you say, he humbled himself after that.
He
Come
did.
in, look, I'm gonna drop, that's off the table. The contempt, show calls, I'm gonna grant that, and I'm gonna recuse myself, right? So somebody told him like, look, as a independent reviewer, you're looking bad, man. Your slip is showing.
Yeah.
And you need to do something to like, save some type of, face at this point.
For your
And letting another judge, another independent, so-called independent reviewer review it and everything, that
yeah.
may be the best cause right now. And I guess he's like, yeah, man, I tried. And when
Yeah.
I say he tried, I say he tried to get a show. He
Yeah,
tried
he
to
did.
get a reality show. He
He
tried to get on TV because this is what these judges are doing now. Yeah, they're
that
acting a fool, particularly these high profile cases. They in there, they acting a fool. They trying to garner some type of attention so that they can get a reality show. That's in my opinion.
you know what? Is some truth to that, Adrian, because listen, after researching, do you know, well, we lost your camera, Adrian, but after researching, do you know he's only getting paid like $100 and something thousand a year?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I guess for taking on this case. So I mean that's really kind of nothing. You would think it would have been more, but
Yeah.
it's nothing. Your camera is off, Adrian.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. I've been
Yeah,
having technical difficulties with my Wi-Fi, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it work.
yeah. You
Yeah.
traveling? Yeah, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
In them Lakers.
What Lakers? Oh, you saw my hat? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know you saw that. You know, just letting it be known.
Love the
You
Lakers.
know.
I got a bone to pick with Jenny Bust them with this Bronny situation. We ain't gonna go into that right now, but yeah, I got a bone.
Okay. All right. Because I could talk basketball all day.
Yeah, but
But so we're not gonna go into it.
yeah.
But
Okay. So,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so the
So
judge didn't recuse himself, Adrian. He sent it over for a hearing to see if another judge can recuse him. Now, one of the defendants, not Young Thug, the other guy, his attorney is Weinstein. He
yeah,
filed a motion for recusal as well. Now, his motion for recusal was basically about was not that the judge did, not that like it was coercion or something to the witness. He did it based on the judge's conduct, which is why the Supreme Court picked this up. Because the
well, I
judge,
thought the Supreme Court only picked up the contempt, and he just referring deferring the recusal hearing to another court.
yeah, he's referring the recusal hearing to another court, but they looked into it because of Weinstein's that when his recusal for conduct. Well,
Yeah,
I think that's basically what you were saying. Someone with influence persuaded him because I think it. Well, this is what happened. I seen an interview with Weinstein. This is what happened. So when he gave him the recusal motion, the state of Georgia have specific steps that the judge was supposed to take and do once he received that recusal motion, and he didn't do it.
yeah.
And that's why the Supreme Court got involved because with that,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
supposed
I did.
was a couple of things that he was supposed to do, and he didn't do it. See, he didn't research a lot of this stuff on the laws on what he was supposed to do when these attorneys was giving them these motions. So when
Yeah,
Weinstein gave him the recusal motion, the state of Georgia he said, specific guidelines that the judge have to do upon receiving that motion. And Judge Glanville, he just denied it.
he did. Yeah,
He didn't do anything. And
he
so
didn't follow protocol or
exactly.
the rules of law. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's why the
yeah,
Supreme Court got involved. And that's why he softened and says, it's got to get sent. It's out of my hands. That's what he said. It's out of my hands. It's got to get sent over to another judge to see if they're going to recuse him. But I don't think another judge is going to recuse him. I really don't. Those judges they got like a brotherhood, don't they?
well, yeah, they rub elbows with each other. They rub elbows with the prosecution. Some public, defenders, and even some private attorneys. they're a part of a club.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I wanted to ask you about, since we got this ex parte transcripts,
yeah,
you've been able to go over it a little. It's 56 pages. I've went over it a couple of times because I've been researching. A lot of people that read through it.
yeah,
I found a couple of errors in there with the judge being in a room with them discussing this case, with them discussing how Woody is going to testify on the stand,
yeah.
and that is a big issue. Do you agree or no?
No. So I don't think that's a big issue. I think that they will, because like from the transcript there was, no impropriety on the judge for holding the ex parte hearing. Um, it was actually requested by the
Defense.
defense and the prosecution, because of Woody's possibly not invoking the Fifth Amendment. So they wanted to talk to the judge. So the judge granted the ex parte motion. So there was no impropriety on his behalf. Now, some of the errors that was made during the hearing, even some of the maybe inappropriate talk, but this is kind of what goes on. And like I say, they have in legalities they have this terminology is called a harmless error. So
Mhm.
even if something did go wrong or the judge did not follow a certain rule of law, was it so harmful that it deprived the defendant of a fair trial?
Right.
And yeah, was it that bias against the defendant where he or she did not receive a fair trial?
Well,
And so they'll put it up under that harmless error standard, or
but it's
whatever.
a violation of due process for the defendants.
Even if it's constitutional, because that's what due process is constitutional, right?
Right.
And even so it go to the feds at this point, say the appeal. And the
Right.
federal court will use a harmless standard, that harmless error, like, yeah, maybe we'll reprimand the judge, and maybe we'll let the judge, give him some strong wording, but
You-
in and of itself, it did not deprive the defendant of a fair trial. It was not harmful enough for the jury to say, like, wait, that is why I found him guilty. I found her guilty is because that happened. And so that's what the courts do. The appeal courts, they have this harmless error. So I don't see anything that would like that would deprive that happened that would deprive Young Thug of the other defendants of a fair trial. Um, yeah, so no,
Well,
I don't see that.
it is Georgia law that if the judge is recused off of this case, then another judge is to take over
Yeah,
or
take over.
at the same place in the case where this judge left off.
Yeah,
So it will go forward,
and I
basically.
don't even think they're in the middle of the case. I think they're only like 30% in or something, right?
It's been going on for 2 years. It took 10 months to pick a jury, Adrian. 10 months. So who knows? I am here for it. I know it's going down. I know there's a lot of back and forth, and I want to end it with this before we get into the letters because we got a little time. But I finally, after researching it a little more and reading this ex parte and all of that, I finally realized how little Woody fit in this whole thing. I couldn't understand, why is Woody not a defendant too? Like, why is he was never even charged in the RICO case? So that's one thing that they just picked him up to testify.
Yeah, I'm
So
kind of having some technical difficulties. Let me
okay,
see, can I figure this out?
put it
Excuse
on.
me, everybody. Excuse me.
I'll mute you while you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, so I finally figured out, I finally got the story on what
Yeah,
role little Woody played in this whole ordeal, right? Because he's testifying on
yeah,
a murder that happened. A murder that happened to Big Nut. So here's the story. This is how Little Woody is connected with all of this. So Little Woody, I guess, is good friends of Young Thug and YSL. He went to a club.
yeah,
These dudes at the club, well-known dudes that run the club or be at this club. Anyway, they started tapping on Lil Woody pockets. They was basically trying to rob Lil Woody, and Lil Woody started fighting back.
yeah,
So he bet. I don't know if he got knocked out or he got away, but they was trying to get at him allegedly.
yeah.
And so he left. He got away, and allegedly, now this is what the district attorney is saying happened. Allegedly, he hooked up with Young Thug, told them what happened. Young Thug rented a car. A couple of those defendants allegedly went and killed this dude that was trying to rob Lil Woody. And allegedly all of Young Thug, Lil Woody, and the dudes that did the shooting met up at McDonald's and after the shooting and was talking about it. So I guess the prosecution wants Little Woody to tell that story. But Lil Woody is basically saying because
I don't know. What are
yeah,
you
he
talking
basically
about? Yeah,
told a story in police interrogation and he put somebody's name in it. That's another thing. He said Tay did it, right? Tay did
yeah.
allegedly Tay did the shooting. So now last week we finally got a chance to see Little Woody's interrogation with the police. So the whole world
Yeah.
know Tay did it, right? But when he was on the stand,
Hmm.
and they asked him, he said, I just said Tay did it. Tay ain't really done nothing. I don't know what y'all talking about. Tay didn't really do nothing. Tay is my boy. I just said that because I'm trying to get out of jail.
Yeah.
However, this was played last week. Tay got killed Sunday morning.
Oh, I
Or
didn't know Tay got killed.
Tay got killed Saturday or Sunday morning. After
Wow.
the court streamed this boy saying this shit.
Mm, mm, mm.
So but here's my thing with the district attorney in this whole thing. Y'all should know dang on well. They didn't gave Lil Woody immunity, right?
Yeah.
According to the ex parte, complete immunity.
Fuck.
You went to the side. Hold on. According to the ex parte, they gave him complete immunity. And then so Lil Woody think he could just do and say anything. But I read the ex parte. The ex parte, I think DA Hilton kind of told a fib in the ex parte. I think because she told Little Woody that the statute has ran out. He can't be prosecuted federally or state charges for anything that he say he did or come out that he did on the stand. And there's a lot of attorneys that I've heard. I'm not an attorney, but there's a lot of them that say she don't have the right to say what the feds will or will not prosecute him on. So a lot of stuff that she said in this ex parte, you could just tell she was just telling him whatever it is she could tell him to convince him to testify. And it was just like, yeah, coercion. And I know Adrian, he popped out. He's gonna pop back in eventually, hopefully. But I know he's gonna say, nah, that wasn't coercion. But to me, it was coercion because you sitting up telling this dude, and then it also came out in the ex parte documents that Hilton had met with Woody in the hood and had an interview with him and was talking to him in the neighborhood, but didn't get it on recording. So they're sitting in the ex parte. He's sitting there saying that he told her every day that he talked to her that he was going to take a fifth. The fifth, he said he was going to take the fifth. She's sitting there saying, no, you didn't tell me that. He's saying, yes, I did. His attorney said, well, is there a recording? She said, Hilton says, no, there's no recording. Why would you interview someone, a witness like this, and you don't record him? Like, I don't know, like, this don't even sound right. Even looking at TV, when you're looking at 48 hours or forensic files or something, everybody is getting recorded. Like, you're not sitting down talking with the district attorney or the police officers, detectives, whatever you want to call them, and they're not recording you. Everybody is getting recorded. So how did y'all go to the hood in ATL and meet with little Woody and not record him? How does that happen? How does that work? Megan, nasty work to get a guilty verdict. Yes, they've been doing nasty work. And I think what didn't happen is they've been doing this stuff for a long time to a lot of black dudes. And I bet you they've been doing this little stuff a long time, and they just got caught this time because that dude, Young Thug, got some millionaire attorneys that's on their tail. And yeah, it's a whole different, it's a whole nother thing because this isn't the first rodeo that Judge Glanville had with Brian Steele. They've been into it before. So I do think that it was a lot of testosterone in that court with them going back and forth. And I think the judge too was biased against not so much Young Thug, but I think it was really him being biased against Brian Steele. But that's just me. Megan said, I thought attorneys always had a recorder on them. Exactly, Megan. I've never heard a district attorney and detectives speaking to a witness and not recording it. The only way that happened is because they're saying some stuff that they don't want out there, that they should not be saying. That does not make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. Adrian, your device is still saying not connected. I wonder what happened to your phone. I can't hear you. But anyway, so yeah, the ex parte meeting. So in this meeting as well, so before the meeting, the judge announced that he was going to release this ex parte documentation of transcripts, and he was going to say, you guys are going to get everything. Nothing's going to be redacted. I don't think so, y'all. I read that ex parte transcript, and if you read it, it's some things in there. You could tell by the conversation how it just changes from one thing to the next. How did it change like that if it's not redacted? That things in that ex parte, it just wouldn't be a normal conversation. But there was something in that ex parte, and I can't wait till Adrian pop his little tail back up in here because I want to ask him about this error. There was something in that ex parte that I read that Lil Woody told them, and it was cut around that part too. It was something else said. Lil Woody distinctly said, I did all these crimes. He distinctly said, I did all these crimes. Let me see. Megan said, because I had to give a statement to alibi my uncle And the detective that was there told me not to say anything until another detective showed up. So they recorded my statement. Exactly. Because they can't remember everything. And they're not going to write down everything either. They ain't going to write it down either. This is that's true, Megan. When have you ever known the police? I don't know. And I'm from South Central Los Angeles, so I done came in contact with the police a few times, but I know people that done came in contact with the police a lot of times. And they've always recorded them, especially if you are in court with and the district attorney is interviewing you. So I just I think this whole thing was a hot mess. And come to find out, everybody thought it was Lil Woody's attorney that was the mole. It wasn't Attorney Bumpus. It was actual. We still don't know who was the mole was, but it wasn't Attorney Bumpus. Hey, Adrian, you back?
Yeah, excuse me, everybody. My Wi-Fi and the hotel Wi-Fi is bumping heads, and so hopefully I'm good now.
Yeah, you look good, Adrian.
Oh well, thank you. I try, you know. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to do something with this right here, though.
Put the
And my
hat back.
brother, he was supposed to give me a haircut today, but you know how that go. But anyway, let's get back into this content.
Okay, yeah, because I wanted to ask you something really quickly before we get into the letters. So in the export, Adrian, little Woody, he said, I did all of these crimes. So do you think by them giving him immunity for these crimes, right? Do you
Yeah.
think it's possible he might take on all of these crimes?
Um. Yeah. If he really did them, yeah. Because if he's
He
claiming
did.
yeah, if he's claiming he's done them, and you know they go that way, say the defense attorney or something like that. You know the prosecution. You know they got their investigators. They, you know, from the police department, the detectives. So they're gonna, you know, they're gonna like, nah, it's impossible that he could have done this because he don't know certain, you know, things about the case that only the killer would know or something, or only the perpetrator would know or something, you know.
Right.
So him saying
Yeah.
that, they're going to throw a grain of salt at that. You know, I fought my appeal for like 9 years in there, and I'm talking about you know, I had my cases, my arguments were, you know, supported by case law. Um, it was accurate. You know, I mean, it was obvious, but to me and any independent reviewer, but to the court, yeah, I just don't
So
see them adding a lot of weight to anything he says at this point.
So, question, Adrian. So, and then we'll go on to the letters. Uh, One, do you think the judge going to be recused from the case?
Okay, one at a time. Okay, all right. Well, I think the judge will be recused just based on how the last couple of weeks has gone. Particularly, you know, him dropping the contempt charge, him granting the motion to show cause, him allowing another judge to you know, review it independent of him. I believe, like I say, somebody, you know, that has some type of influence nudged him, like, you know, let this go. You
Yeah,
know, let this go. This one right here, you're not going to be able to recoup from this. So let
right.
this one go. You can have the next one because they make them deals like that. You
Yeah,
know, the prosecution, the defense attorney, the judges. You know,
yeah,
so yeah, I think it's some type of, you know, maybe quote pro quo. You know, you
yeah,
get, you know, take a hit on this one, we give you this one. You know,
right.
so I do think he will be recused. Recused. Do you think? What do you think?
I think if another Fulton County judge have to look at it, because they sent it off to one to go over it for recusal. She recused herself. She like, I'm not getting into this. She
Yeah.
black lady, like, no, 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 no,
Mhm.
no, no. Sent it over to another lady, and she said, okay, I'll take it. But Weinstein, he did a motion against it because he put it in and basically stated that this should get sent out of Fulton County to be seen, because by judges outside of that county, because those judges in Fulton County, he's their boss, he's the chief. So who's going to
Yeah.
recuse the one to say, I'm recusing you? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
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 he asked for a change of venue.
venue for that motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
which I think is
for the motion or for the trial?
for the motion.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Just
that's
for the
unique. That's unique.
motion.
Yeah,
So,
that's very
so a
unique.
different set of judges outside
Mhm.
of his reach can
Yeah.
can go over it and see it, and just give them, go by the law and look at it and say, no, this judge, he didn't have too much to do with this case, or no, this is fine. What he did is, he's okay. So yeah, it's gonna be good to come. It's gonna be good to see what happens. I really think it's gonna be a mistrial.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that export that they sent out, I think he lied. If it's drafted, if you really go over it, you can tell the different communication is going on. You can tell that where this part stopped, and Woody is talking about something that that's missing from the middle. So you can just tell that it's not right. And I think the judge know that it's not right. I heard that it's audio gonna be coming out and it's not gonna be good. They're saying that Judge Glanville might have to step down after this audio come out of the stuff that was said.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna see what happened with that, Adrian. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Because y'all know, if you don't know, now you know, I do not like crooked district attorneys and judges. I think that they are very dangerous. That
Yeah.
that are the most dangerous people for the Black community that there
Yeah.
is. A
Yeah.
crooked judge and a crooked district attorney is very dangerous, and that they have a lot of power over
They
our
do.
lives that we don't realize until we get into these kind of situations. And so, as much as we can put any kind of wrongdoing out there that they've done or that they're doing to get them off the bench, I'm going to have my foot in their neck. Sorry, but I
Mhm.
am.
As
Because
you
it's
should.
your job to protect and serve us,
Yeah.
not try to convict innocent people or people that you can't prove in a court of law that they are guilty. So it's
Yeah.
not your job to try to scheme and scam and do all of this stuff, and work together to get people convicted. I don't agree with that stuff, and I'm against it. And so that brings us to our letters, Adrian. I know you've been trying to get to this. So let's get into it. We got a Dear Tree and Adrian letter. We got about 2 of them, and we're going to complete them. You don't got nothing to do. I don't got nothing to do. So let's get to it. All
Thank you for
right.
that.
This first one is The Crowded in Prison.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. I think I read this one. Dear Tree and Adrian, I am a 42-year-old mother of 3 who has been in a relationship with a man for almost 6 years. He is incarcerated. We started out as friends. Things were great until this year when he reconnected with an old girlfriend. Well, he's in prison, huh? I had a conversation with her over Facebook, and she wanted to invite me out for coffee one day. I ended up messaging her later on that night, and she told me my boyfriend I had made her uncomfortable. she ended up blocking me on Facebook. Well, I think she's saying she told my boyfriend that I had made
Yeah.
her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like Tree and Adrian, here he's now saying he's in love with both of us. I'm not allowed to talk about her, and anything they talk about is none of my business. I do not get as many phone calls from him as I used to, and I think it's because of her. I'm not sure what her plans are, but I get the feeling she's trying to get me out of the picture. Please tell me what to do. Signed, Crowded in Prison. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. So that one, that's definitely something that that's in my wheelhouse, in your wheelhouse. We've seen this. I've seen it many times where, from even being in the county jail, where a guy will visit and another female may show up, or the guy has gotten a visit and then his girl will, show up, and he has a visit. He already, and I've actually seen fights out in the visiting room between girls who bumped into each other in prison as well, prison too. And sometimes, and the guards, they play a part in it. The guards will tell the girls, "Oh, you have another girl coming." So, one thing that prison taught me about relationships is that you only need one good girl. That's one thing that I took away from prison when it comes to relationship. One good woman is all a man need. You know what I'm saying? And prison taught me that, and I can kind of go into it, but that's one of the things that prison taught me about relationship. You got one good woman on your team, on your side, all the rest can go. And that's from doing 27 years and being in multiple.
Like he got two good ones, Adrian.
Yeah. So Crowded in Prison. This is a tough one, because a lot of I can hear the women. I mean, I can just imagine what the women are shocked. Like, what? Y'all chasing after the dude that's in jail, y'all putting up with this, and he's in jail, and you allowing him to cheat on you and tell you this and tell you that. But I've seen many people find love in prison. Right. And I've always said that for a person to be with someone, man or woman, but for me, it was a woman, she would have to have that ability to receive love beyond the physical scope. That's always been my saying. Like, if you can't receive love beyond that physical scope, because you have intimacy in prison, physical intimacy.
Hold on, because you going.
Yeah, because I can get into this, man. Yeah, but go ahead.
I know what's going on. This is very hard for you, and so that's why I chose this letter out of the bunch we had.
Yeah, I just kind of want the audience to kind of understand, like, the different dynamics because the prison is a microcosm of the macro world, of the bigger world. So there's a whole, like, ecosystem that goes on in prison, so to speak. That mirrors society, but in minute forms and shit.
So let's get back to the letter. Let me start off with my suggestion. Okay. Crowded in Prison is in a relationship. She got 3 kids. She's in a relationship for almost 6 years. That's a long time with a person that is incarcerated. Yeah. That is a long time, right? Things were good until this year. He reconnected with an ex-girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, I don't understand, like, what's her problem? What's Crowded in Prison problem? Right? I think one thing that I had to learn, and we're gonna get to you after this, since you beat it all around the bush with this, And I understand why, and I'm gonna say why after you say what you said. But one thing that I've learned about this kind of situation, crowded in prison, is that a person that's dealing with someone in prison, like I have um, in the past, is have power over the relationship. And when I say power, I mean you have all of the power. So if this person is not doing something that is beneficial for you and your kids and he's in prison, then it it shouldn't be hard for you to say peace. I understand how it feels to be in love with someone in prison. Um, but I don't understand how it feels to be in love with someone and accept them to be in love with someone else while they're in prison. Adrian, Adrian froze up and went off, but he probably did at a good time because this right here don't make no sense to me. Crowded in prison, and I'm gonna just be real because you know your girl Tree. That's who I am. To me, for you to even allow him to have another relationship with his ex while he's in prison and you don't move it along, something ain't right about that. And you got to get some kind of strength about yourself, because you are there to help him. He's not helping you. And for someone to step on your feelings and you're there to help them, and it's wrong, and you allowing it as long as you allow this to happen. If he's not Muslim and you're not Muslim, that shouldn't be happening, period. I'm with Adrian. A person in prison only need one good woman. They
No,
don't need.
period. I say that's period.
They
That
don't.
applies.
I mean, yeah, but really in prison, because of the situation. The simple fact of the matter is, if you find one good woman that's going to deal with you while you're in prison and be faithful and loyal to you, then that's huge. It doesn't, and you know this, Adrian. That don't come a dime a dozen. That
That's
don't.
true.
That's not. That's rare. It takes a special person. You even told me this to deal with, to be in love and in a relationship with someone that's in prison. It doesn't, it's very rare. And for you to be that woman and to have someone tell you they in love with somebody else too, that's just disrespectful. You taking time, you taking money, you taking a lot out of yourself and away from your kids to help supply for him while he's in prison, or even to just help go down there and visit him. Takes a lot. That is not an easy task. I did it every weekend. I know. So I just take this to heart for you, because for you to be dealing with someone and in love with someone that's in jail and you've been there for them for 6 whole years while he's been incarcerated, and him to hook up with his ex-girlfriend just like that overnight, things change. That's a problem for me. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Well, for one, like I just want to kind of address something you said, particularly about the give and take in a relationship with someone in prison, right? So the person who's incarcerated is, their capacity is just limited. They only, so the person, who's in society, they have to come visit, they have to put money on the phone, they have to send package, they have to be the drivers of the relationship in that regard. Though someone in prison, um, can contribute to a relationship.
Yeah, they,
Um, Emotionally, spiritually, financially, in a lot of cases, right? And I wouldn't say that it's rare for someone, for a man and woman, to get in a relationship whilst either one is incarcerated or even getting married. It does, I would say like out of maybe only 25 to 35% of the prisoners actually receive visits from women, outside of their families, so it is a rare compared to, the larger society where, you can approach a woman or ask for a woman's number and, get engaged or something like that. So that, makes it rare. But, we know that I've known guys and, who've been married for, decades who are in prison and, their wives have been there. But so, I do agree with you that, she has to, she's in love for one. That's her reason.
Right.
Her reason is she's in love with this guy. And she's invested 6 years. At first they were friends. And she saw something in the guy. He saw something in her, of course, too, right? But she saw something in him that said, look, I can see myself being with this person and I want to try. And she's been in 6 years. And for him to allow an ex-girlfriend to come in, then to me, he has, he has no respect for crowded in prison. He has no respect for, because this woman has been there for you for 6 years and you're ready to leave her because you think you found something better. So, crowded in prison, I can just imagine, you're in love with this guy and it may be hard to walk away, but he doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect the time, the effort, everything that you've done for this relationship. And he's at a disadvantage and he's still, it's not like he's out here where he's contributing to, bills or your physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. In that way, he's limited. So by him being in this limited capacity, and you're still cheating, because that's what it is. He's cheating on her. And
why he in prison?
Yeah,
that's why I'm upset. Like this is ridiculous. And I think that the problem is that a lot of these women, I think that they forget that they have the power. I forgot for a period of time that I had a certain power to a man that I was in a relationship with in prison, because I just used to let him, when we're into it, not that he did it all the time, he's a good person, but when we got into it, he just used to yell, and I'm holding the phone and he's yelling and screaming and yelling and yelling and yelling. And this is money that's on that's costing for this phone. At that time, we had to pay for Global Tel Link. That it was like what, $3 a minute. So and I'm literally struggling to put money on the phone, and this fool is calling just to scream on the phone. And I'm sitting here holding the phone, listening to him scream. And then I'm screaming back. This is a waste of money right here.
Yeah.
Just a waste. I had to realize,
boop. Yeah.
Going on about my day. Like, dude, I'm not finna say, you're in jail.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're calling my phone. And you think I'm finna put up with your mess, and you're on my phone. And I had the power to hang up. When I start hanging up, next time call back, a very humble voice.
Yeah, humbled his ass. Yeah.
As if you doing all of this for him and he's in prison and he's in love with another woman, let him go. You're doing too much, sweetie. You're doing too much to even give him the ability to fall in love with another woman. That means you're doing too much. Let him be with her. Find you another man.
Yeah, I agree. I give her a little bit more grace, because I know, I can, what love can do to a person's, mind and mental state, and psychological state, and So I will give her some grace there. But yeah, she, he doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect the relationship, and um,
And he
yeah,
knows he's faithful when he come home. If he ain't faithful
yeah,
in prison,
yeah. He's a player.
thank you. All
Yeah,
right,
he's a
let's
player.
move it along to the next letter. Crowded in prison. Get uncrowded in prison. Find you a
Yeah,
man on the street, and yeah, let the zero be with the X. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, next letter, dear Tria Adrian. You like this? We got 2 in one show. Oh my God, Adrian, you probably overjoyed right
Well, I'm still not. I'm still on crowded in prison. I'm going to think about that for a while because it's
now.
like
What?
it's so many different. Because I could just imagine what the public is saying, what the people in the chat line, in the chat is saying, people who are watching what they're thinking, right? And people, it's that I can never let that happen to me. That would never happen to me. It's something like that. But it's 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 way more complicated than just okay, he's in jail and he has no value or she has no value. It's people. I mean, bring value to relationships, even from afar. So I'm just imagine. I'm just can imagine.
Not saying that people in jail don't have value because you guys do. I mean, like, y'all really do. The right ones in a relationship, you really do. Period. You really do.
Yeah,
Like, y'all are, there, like you said, mentally, y'all
yeah,
there emotionally, and y'all basically should be more faithful than any other man. But as you can see, that don't always pan out.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's where the majority of the good men are is in prison, stuck in prison. They finally letting y'all out. So, it's just a matter of finding a good woman.
Where's the next letter at? Where's the next document?
Okay, let's go. Dear Tree and Adrian, this is a long
That's a long one. You want me, do you want me to read it?
Please go ahead, Adrian.
Dear Tree and Adrian, I was married for 20 years. We met when I was 13 years old. Our relationship continued through high school and college. We later married and had 3 children. I held down a full-time job while taking care of a large house, running the children to practice, helping with homework, etc. Our marriage fell apart and we divorced 7 years ago. We always attended our children's events together and stayed connected as each child left the nest and our oldest got married. We both dated others during this time, and I met someone I loved more than anyone I had ever loved before. But that relationship fell apart due to his infidelity. It's a player too. 2 years ago, my husband and I began our relationship anew. We went to counseling and everything, and everything was going well. We bought a house together and are living under one roof with our youngest son. The issue is we have fallen back into the same pattern. My husband is rude to me and my son and our son. He's also annoying and repeats the same conversation over and over. I no longer have any physical attraction to him.
Wow.
At this point in my life, I'm in my 50s. I don't want to go back out there in the dating world, but I miss the companionship and the attention I found doing so. Our youngest son is a senior this year and will be going to college. I still own a house. It's currently on the market, and I could return to it, but because my ex-husband put my name on the new house, it would be a hassle to have to balance both. I'm not happy, but I don't know what to do. Struck out twice. You got one more swing at it, struck out. You got one more swing. Yeah. Yeah, so so they were married. She was in an initial relationship that fell apart. She found someone she loved, and that fell apart. She got back with the ex, and the same patterns from the first relationship, that caused them to fall apart, occurred again. And now that relationship has fallen apart, but she still have love to give. She still got a whole at 57 years old.
She got a whole lot of love to give to herself, to her dang self. That's who she needs to give it to. She been going, give some love to yourself. These is your golden years. Find you a boo to travel with. Find you a boo for home.
Yeah.
Stop going back over your vomit. Period. Especially, okay. The only way I'm gonna go back to an ex is if it didn't end on like bad or negative terms. Like y'all did a whole divorce. That's as negative and bad as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Some part of this should have came. One of y'all should have came to y'all senses before y'all got back in another relationship and said this didn't work the first time and it ain't gonna work now.
Yeah.
The good thing is that you did after the divorce find a relationship and you really fell in love with that person. Unfortunately, it broke up due to infidelity, but it's a good thing that it broke up. It's a good thing that it broke up and you just not stuck in that relationship with being in love with that person and they are cheating on you, because you said you was in love with him more than you loved anyone. So sometimes when people is in love with a person like that and they cheat, they constantly stay in that relationship. So the good part about that part is that it broke up, it fell apart because it was infidelity involved. I don't think you should have went back to your ex-husband. I think you need to break up with him right now. Your son is going off to college. I think you need to do you. Find some time for you. It seemed like you're going from one man to the next and back to the same one. So find some time for you. Get your own place. Let your ex-husband go. Let him do him. Get your own place and you do you. It's okay to have you a boo, but try somebody new.
Yeah.
What you got for her, Adrian?
No, I can't, find anything like, that I disagree with what you just said. No, not at all. I mean, because self-care is supreme in our lives. We need to take those moments for ourselves to take a deep breath, to decompress, to let go. So, whatever's going on with our marriages, our family, our friends, our work, we're not holding on to it. So yeah, I do believe that struck out twice needs to work, on her mental, her heart, her soul, and just really understand what she like, what she wants, right? And then I do believe after that she should jump back into the dating pool. Me, I've been against like the apps for like, from when I was in there, when I was in prison, and I remember I would hear dudes talking about, look, man, I got to put on Facebook, or I got put on POF or one of these other dating sites, and they were able to
tell me about POF. I was like,
yeah, they were able to find companionship, and I was always against that. But how the world works today, it's like that's where it's at. People don't even know how to interact with each other, I actually, I remember speaking to a girl, right? And, it was innocuous. I was just speaking to her, but she was attractive enough. And she was like, huh? I was like, oh, just have a good day. She's like, oh, okay. And she was just like suspect, like I'm trying to get her number or take a picture of her or something. She like, she was shell shocked, right? Like, so people don't like meet like, in the library, in a supermarket, or the laundromat, like back in the days, or you see a girl, you like, hey, come here, what's up? And y'all get to talking. That don't happen anymore.
More.
So now it's on the internet. So I believe that she should, take that time, like you say, to get self-care, whether that's reading, writing, learning a new skill, learning to play an instrument, just finding yourself in something else, or, doing something, just that self-care, right? And when that time comes, when she say like, because that itch gonna come, that it's gonna come. Look, we grown folks, right? So, huh?
She gonna need some.
There you go. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So,
I suggested that she have a boo.
Yeah.
But she just got to keep the boo in perspective. Stop trying to have a man and be everybody's wife. Like, stop. Like, I'm not saying stop falling in love with people.
At this point,
because we, as women, we naturally fall in love with men that we're having sex with. It's just natural in us. It's even a scientific study that says that we naturally are emotionally connected to people that we have sex with. And so I'm just saying, keep him in perspective. Like, keep your boo in perspective. Stop trying to be everybody's wife. Stop falling head over heels and in love with a man, and let him fall head over heels in love with you. You in your 50s, I'm entering my 50s. And so when you enter your 50s, what I was told before, and I feel it already, you're trying to live your best life, because time is ticking. And so while you still got it together, you're trying to live your best life. Live your best life, girl. Stop trying to, marriage might not be for you. And we have to get to that point in life where what we thought was for us, we heading into 50. I don't even like that no more. I don't think that's for me anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't go buying a 2-story house, signing on a dotted line, and you 54.
Yeah.
In 5 years, you ain't gonna even want to walk up the stairs. So even though you always wanted a 2-story house, you in your 50s now. Are you gonna want to pay for this for 30 years? The next 30 years? Are you going to walk upstairs every day and clean up? So even though you want a 2-story house, get a 1-story house now, a flat house. You're in your 50s. So I think as time goes on, our desires and different goals and different things have to change. We have to adjust that with our body and what's going on. And if you're in your 50s, you done have been divorced for umpteen years, you was married for 20 years, it's time to start living, girl. Get you a boo.
Yeah.
What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah. So I do agree. To get someone, but not immediately. Right now it's about kind of healing. Kind of healing from that whole experience, and that comes with that self-care. So care for yourself at this point. Get some perspective on your initial marriage, the 20 years, the second relationship. Why did you love that person more than anything? Try to understand that. Lean into the feelings that come with that, and why did he cheat? And don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself, and think about that. You getting back with that with the ex-husband. Is it true what Tree just said? What Teresa said, like, you're looking for a husband and maybe that's not right for you. So
Right.
kind of like analyze those things, and I think that you should get back out there. We there's always someone
Everybody.
for someone, for everyone, right? And we deserve to be happy.
Right.
We're companionship people. That's how we work. We go in pairs, right? So yeah, I believe that you should get back out there, get back in the dating pool, and there is a nice gentleman out there that's looking for you.
Right. And
But you
don't
got to
use
find
your
yourself first.
Yeah, and don't use your ex-husband for a rebound. Because that's what it sounded like she did. It didn't work out with old boy. And so, well, he's still here. I still got to see him. Yeah, y'all going to have grandkids together. Grandkids got to graduate. Grandkids got to get married. Grandkids got to have your great grandkids. So ex-husband ain't going nowhere. But stop using that man for a rebound. Every time you break up with a boo, you go back to him. No, leave him alone. Just have him in perspective too, to know you love him. You got kids, Mom. You're going to have grandkids and great grandkids if God see fit. Not going to change. You're always going to love that man. But you have seen y'all not good together. Stop using him for a rebound. Because if you fell over heels in love with another man and that didn't work out, I don't know. It just feels like you using him for a rebound to me. I could be wrong, but that's the feeling that I get. Your ex-husband is going to always love you like you're going to always love him. And I think he's always going to be open for you to come back to him. But I don't think you really want him like that. I don't think, because the old stuff came right back up to you.
Yeah.
So I don't think you really want him. I just think that you used him to get over old boy that you was really in love with, that you loved more than anyone else in your life. And for you to come to that determination and then get back with your ex-husband just further lets me know that you use this man for a rebound. So leave him alone. Let him be. Let him find somebody that's for him. And you do you, boo. Do you.
Good advice. I like that.
All right, Adrian. Well, Lordy, we did good today. Let me see where we at.
Yeah, the little interruptions here and there. Like I said, I got to apologize to everybody for that.
We know you on the road, Adrian.
Yeah, just yeah. We got viewers, we got people coming in, and hey, I want to give them the business. I'm not gonna do them like Judge Glanville and take their money and run.
He's silly.
You know what I'm saying?
So Adrian, you got that big old hotel room by yourself?
Yeah. So my niece, she just called. I'm gonna call her back. They're having an event tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to her and her fiance's event, and then I'm taking off, headed back to San Francisco. Like I said, it was really about keeping my word to my nephew and just letting me I want to show my nieces and nephews, my great niece, because I don't have any kids, but they're my kids. I want them to see this is how family is supposed to look. This is how we support each other. You put in that effort, I'm going to show you, I'm going to reward that effort. I drove down here 6 hours to take him to the DMV 10 o'clock this morning, and he passed his test. You know what I'm saying? He put in the work, he put in the effort, and I want to reward that. So yeah, I'm headed back to late tomorrow.
So you didn't bring no date down with you?
No, I ain't bring no date.
Because, people been hitting me up in my DM about you.
Well, you sure got a big old Kool-Aid smile. Well, do any of them live by what cross streets are these? No.
I would not even give them that, because it'd be a dry run. You wouldn't even let them in the room with you.
You know me, man. I got out. I don't know if you're referring to this policy, but I got out with a policy that I would not engage in a sexual activity with a woman unless she showed me her documents. I want to see your status. Remember? Oh, that's not what you. I thought that's what you were referring to. I'm not gonna let them in.
What you mean? Documents? Her degree?
No,
Bank
her status.
What
Now,
status?
you remember I told you, I want to know
You
that you're
her health records.
well status as far as like a communicable disease. Yes. I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I didn't survive all that time in prison to come out here and let the monster AIDS take me down. No, I ain't going out like that.
So you're saying a woman got to literally show you, go and take STD tests and show you the results before you will have sex with her?
Unprotected sex, yes. I need to know that status.
You
yes.
will have, but you will have protected sex without.
Tracy, what are you talking about right now? What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
I'm just getting a clear view.
What are we doing right now, Teresa?
Okay. Let's get online. Okay, we've been on here for an hour. I ain't gonna put Adrian on the spot no more, but Adrian, I'm gonna put you on the spot because yeah, you got some eyes on you. I don't know how many, but don't be trying.
You know me, I'm a clown, man. I'm a clown, you know. I don't take myself too serious, you know what I mean?
In the chat dying Maggie Adrian is a fool. But I just gotta put him on the spot because he's so preserved and he kind of like shy at everything, but we're gonna get him out of that shyness, y'all. Don't worry, we're gonna get him up out of that shyness.
Now we talking basketball. We talking basketball, politics, mental health. I'm on top of all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's my job now. You know what I mean? To help the people, man.
Oh, yeah. How many years did you do in prison, Adrian?
I did 27 years. Yeah.
27 years with no Putin.
None. For 27 years.
So, ladies, y'all understand why he's so shy to talk about sex?
No, I'm not. What are you talking about? I don't know what's going on right now. What are we doing? Are we signing off right now? Who you? What are we doing?
You ain't gotta be shy. Okay, Adrian. I just had to get your smile because the people hit me and said, "Can you make Adrian smile on the show?"
Oh man, see, anything make me smile. Like I say, man, I love life, man. I really love my life right now, and yeah, so anything can make me smile. Just speaking to someone.
So what if somebody bent over and twerked their butt in your face? Would you smile?
Oh yeah, I smile at that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. I mean, I just, like, come on now.
Is she gonna have to show you paperwork?
It's like I didn't forget how to, say be a gangbanger or be, knockout or be
is she gonna have to show you
player, anything. I didn't forget those things. Is that now I'm making conscientious choices, not to be a player or not to be, this or that, so I didn't forget those things. It's just, I just choose not to do those things no more, Yeah. That's happened when you get a consciousness,
We're going to see how that consciousness is. Yeah. Somebody get the twerking in your face. We're gonna see how quick. We're gonna see if parts of you ask for a medical record. All right, Adrian, let me let you go. Until next time, loved one, make sure you enjoy the family. Make sure you don't eat too much, and make sure you be safe driving back home. We need you to get back to the Bay Area in one piece.
Absolutely.
And as for our followers, give them a big hootie hoo, and we out.
Hootie hoo.
See y'all next time, next week, same place, same time, different place for Adrian now.
Yeah.